Kelly, critics would put it this way. Is your voice being heard at Trimet? To answer that question, our investigation takes us back to June of last year.
Oh, here we go. Oh, look, there's the Opal meeting.
June 2012. As riders protested, Trimet's board of directors approved
there's O-Star.
fares and cutting
These are all Opal people. There's the legal person.
But they did something else without public input. They approved more than $900,000 in raises, with 1/3 of that amount going to at least 50 Trimet executives, managers, and other non-union employees already making six-figure salaries. Some of the raises were substantial. Records obtained by Koin 6 News show Trimet's Director of Legal Services receiving a 51% boost in pay.
There you go.
A Deputy General Counsel receiving a 33% raise.
There you go, Trimet.
And a Civil Construction Manager receiving a 22% boost in salary. Where did the money come from? The raises were funded from Trimet's $20 million contingency or rainy day fund. Trimet General Manager Neil McFarland pushed for the raises. So it looked to a lot of critics that was a slush fund where you were just trying to get the raises.
You're damn right.
I admitted and I apologize.
No good. No good. He's apologizing. Hey, there's Chris.
Chris Smith sits on the board of directors for the Portland Streetcar and writes a blog called Portland Transport.
Oh, look at that Chris Smith.
They weren't transparent about it.
Yeah.
That should have been fully visible.
There you go, Chris.
It shouldn't have been something that somebody had to figure out reading the footnote 6 months later.
Trimet now says they are trying to be better about transparency.
So Chris is not pulling
shit. They might begin by following the examples from other transit agencies. Our investigation revealed Trimet is one of the few major transit systems in the country without a permanent citizens oversight or advisory committee.
Actually, we do have a general manager and budget task force, which has a number of citizens that
I'll pick by you.
Every year.
I'll pick by
points that
he appoints them.
On that.
But some might say that's not transparent enough since you've appointed them.
Well, I would say that if you knew the individuals, you would know that they're very independent-minded.
And while McFarland appoints citizens to serve on a few specific committees, there is no permanent, independent citizen advisory committee watching over Trimet itself.
That's right.
April 24th, 2010, a Trimet bus driver hits 5 people in a crosswalk. 2 people are killed, another seriously injured. Trimet forms a task force to investigate, and among their recommendations, Trimet should consider a community advisory committee that would allow Trimet's customers and partner stakeholders the opportunity to weigh in as Trimet makes decisions. In response, Trimet formed a safety education committee. As for the specific recommendation to form a citizen advisory committee, why hasn't Trimet acted on that?
The roles you just described are the roles of the board of directors at Trimet. Confirmed by the state senate.
Yes. McFarland compares a citizen advisory committee to the Trimet board of directors. And many people feel that's the problem.
I serve on a number of boards, and I think
Chris Smith is
board members to ask hard questions of management. And of course, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but in board meetings, I see 1 or 2 people who do that occasionally. I don't see as much of that as I think we should have.
The governor appoints 7 volunteer members to serve on the Trimet board. They meet twice a month, but many feel the public is left out of the process.
When we first started going to Trimet board meetings, you couldn't testify, the public couldn't testify on a particular resolution or motion until after the board had already voted. We got them to change that policy.
John Ostar heads up Opal, a group that advocates for Trimet riders.
Unfortunately, right now, only 1 of 7 Trimet board members are a regular transit rider.
And that's Warner of all things.
Our Trimet board members to be much more
Warner's the worst of the board.
Someone in Salem is listening. Oregon Representative Chris Gorsak sponsored a bill to have the Trimet board be appointed at a local level rather than by the governor.
And when you consider the huge impact that Trimet has on people's lives and the millions of dollars that go into the operation, it seems to me they should be a little closer to the voters. The voters should have a little more say in how the board functions.
Last week, the bill had its first hearing, and among those testifying against it, Trimet General Manager Neil McFarland, who defended his agency, saying, despite what you may have heard, Trimet is still one of the nation's premier transit agencies.
That's because he says it.
And McFarland says for Trimet to maintain its reputation, it must bring the mounting cost of its employee union health care under control.
Changing the appointment.
What does that have to do with your management?
Isn't going to make the money magically appear.
There's really a question of credibility. We have Trimet making a number of assertions about the budget and how labor costs drive that. We have the union making contradictory assertions. I think it's tough for citizens to know who to believe.
I would sort of ask the question, what's broken about it?
What's broken about it? Oh my God, Neil.
Finally, our series of reports has stirred a lot of reaction, as it should, and much of it comes from Trimet itself. Koin stands by its reporting.
That's right.
By doing so,
Damn
we'll
right.
even address some of Trimet's concerns right now. Here is the documents given to us by Trimet with the names and salaries of 70 non-union employees making $100,000 or more. Once again, these documents given to us by Trimet. But Trimet says we should keep our comparison to 49 employees paid from the general fund.
Bullshit.
The rest are working on the Milwaukee Light Rail project. Once again, we made it clear to Trimet. We were comparing total employees. Denver Transit, which we compared, had a total of 51 six-figure salaries. That included Denver employees working on not one but several light rail projects.
That's right. They're building light rail there.
$100
Neil.
monthly pass should have not been compared to cheaper passes in other cities. Those cheaper passes limit riders to certain zones. Now, Denver Transit is 4 times the service area of Trimet. That $79 Denver Metro Pass actually covers close to the same area as Trimet's entire system.
There you go.
Finally, Trimet takes issue with the assertion that General Manager Neil McFarland gave himself a raise. It's true, he can't give himself a raise, so we will clarify that. But he did recommend a raise, and the Trimet
Oh! He recommended him, so you
Board meeting
motherfucker.
is Wednesday, May 22nd at 9 a.m. at the Portland building. And the public is welcome. Once again, we stand by our
Good for you,
reporting.
Jeff. You damn right you
Posted
better.
both stories on Koin.com, and as always, we welcome your comments.
All right. All right, man. It's fucking excellent, 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 excellent.